What is going on, guys? And in this video I'll be showing you all 12 of these sacred tier locations here on Elden Ring. Now this is an item that basically increases the power of your flasks, and it's a very important thing to have because, well, the higher level you get and all that, the more health you have. You're going to want to be able to use less of these to get your health up, and these are going to be scattered around the map at different churches. So the first one you'll be able to find will be over here at the third church of Marika in Limgrave, and it's going to be pretty easy to find. Look at the site of grace right in this area, look to your left, and you guys will see the sacred tier right in front of the statue. Now, I did start off showing the first one right at the location of Third Church of Marika. Now, there's actually some obviously above this, but I'm going to start by going to the bottom of the map over here and covering the ones in this area, because there's actually a couple over here. So the next one we're going to go after, first thing you guys want to do, spawn to the Castle Morn Rampart right here, and you have to head over to the Kalu Baptismal Church, which is actually in a kind of a weird place. Basically, there's a lot of rats there, but let's head over in that direction right now. Once y'all arrive here, there'll be some enemies hanging out around the area. You could take them out to make this a little bit easier. Do keep in mind there's also a good amount of enemies hiding in there, which are going to be a lot of rats. Once you take all the rats out, head over to the little statue here, and you guys will be able to pick up the sacred tears. The next sacred tier location is actually pretty close by to the other one. It's going to be located at the Church of Pilgrimage, basically right in front of the site of grace. And then for the last sacred tier location in the Weeping Peninsula area is going to be all the way over here at the fourth Church of Marika. You can kind of see this place from the Church of Pilgrimage, so pretty much just head over to this direction here. The church is right past the hill. But run on inside, you guys will see the site of grace, and right in front of that is going to be the sacred tier location. Now, before going to Leonia, I'm going to come over to Caelid first, because there's actually only one sacred tier location in this entire area, and it's going to be found at the Church of the Plague. Now, getting to this location could be kind of weird, I noticed, but I did find the fastest way and probably the easiest way as well to get here, so you guys can get these sacred tiers quickly. So, come over to the Fort Ferrith site of grace here and continue down this area here. You guys see one of those little geyser things you can jump down. From there, you can pretty much run all the way to the church pretty easily. The next area you guys will find some sacred tier locations is going to be in Leonia of the Lakes. The first one will be pretty close by to lake facing cliffs, basically right when you guys enter this area. Head down to the Church of Irith and you guys will see it over at the statue. I do want to mention, by the way, that I do not have the footage of picking this one up, but all you guys have to do is head over to the Church of Irith and you will see the sacred tier pretty much in front of the statue. The next sacred tier location can be found here at the Bellum Church on the way to the Grand Lift of Dectus, pretty much off the beaten path of this main road here. This is pretty easy to spot. Once you guys come in, you will see the sacred tier at this big statue here. I unfortunately do not have footage of me picking this one up though. The next sacred tier location can be found pretty close by to the Bellum Church over here at the Church of Inhibition. Now, the way to get to this one is basically come over here to the Grand Lift of Dectus site of grace, come south over here, and then you guys will eventually get spotted by the tower that shoots the flame at you. The way to get by that is to pretty much sneak by it in this area, come up around the cliffs here. You guys will come up to the Frenzied Flame Village, and then come around this way to the right. You guys will come up here, and then you will find the church on top of the hill. And luckily, the sacred tier is literally right in front of the site of grace. The next sacred tier in this area can be found at the second Church of Morocco, which is honestly pretty hidden. I actually didn't even realize it was down there at first. It's kind of in like a little valley area, so make sure when you guys come over here, you just jump off this little cliff in this area here. The fastest way to get there is going to be from the Altus Highway Junction site of grace. There will be some enemies in the area, by the way, guys. I wanted to mention that. When I first came over here, an enemy did come up from the ground with, like, blood everywhere. He wasn't too hard to kill, but he spawned, like, right in this area. So if you guys do come over here your first time, you most likely will encounter him. The next Sacred Tier location can be found at the Stormcaller Church. Now, the quickest way to get here is going to be from the Rampart Side Path, Site of Grace. The second to last Sacred Tier location can be found here at the First Church of Marika, all the way in the mountaintops of the Giants. The fast way to get to this location would be over here from the Freezing Lake. Basically spawn here and continue all the way to your left here and watch the big dragon that spawns over here as well. You guys will eventually come over to the church. And then the final Sacred Tier location can also be found in the mountaintops of the Giants as well, all the way over here at the Church of Repose. And this one's honestly pretty easy to get to. There's going to be a ton of enemies in this area fighting. You pretty much just run by all of them. You guys will come up on the church. Now, I did get invaded over here. Not sure if that's part of like a quest line or something because I'm still kind of early on. But nonetheless, you might get invaded when coming over here. And the final Sacred Tier location can also be found in the mountaintops of the Giants as well, all the way over here at the Church of Repose. Now, this one's actually pretty easy to get to. There will be a lot of enemies in this area here, but luckily they're pretty much fighting each other. Do keep in mind, by the way, guys, I did get invaded when I came over here, so be a little careful for that. Although he does drop a pretty awesome sword, which is going to be this one right here.